Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where we're working together through each of the ABRSM Theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials. And you can also find information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and hints on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time on exam day when you're working through your exam paper. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really fab, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more to come. And now we're going to continue with the 2014 Grade 5 Past Paper C. And if you turn with me to page 20, we can look at question 3. So this goes over 2 pages and everything will be referring back to this little extract here. Now here, first of all, question A is another example of how from 2018 onwards the layout of the paper will have changed slightly. It doesn't detract from the value of this paper as a revision resource. In fact, it's even better in a sense because from 2018 onwards all of these musical terms will be presented to you in multiple choice format, whereas here we're required to just write out the full definition, so it's really good practice to do that. Do remember that grade 5 exam could call upon any of the performance directions from grades 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So there's quite a lot of revision to be done there. I suggest that you group things thematically. You could either colour code them, grouping together all sort of like things from grades 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 rather than just keeping them alphabetical. So we'll just go ahead and give these their full definition. So grazioso, or however you pronounce that, is gracefully. Not too difficult to see where that word comes from. The root meaning. Now scherzando is a playful or joking term, it means. And really, if you think about a scherzo, a piece is kind of a jolly playful piece, and so that will make sense there. Now we're asked to complete the following statement. The quintuplet in bar 3, so they're referring to this little bit here, means 5 semiquavers in the time of, and so you can break this down either way. You could say either 5 in the time of 4, so that would be 5 semiquavers in the time of 4 semiquavers, or as you would say 16th notes, whichever terminology you use. Alternatively, you could break that down even further and say in the time of 1 crotchet or 1 quarter note. The maths is just the same, it just depends how you want to break that down. But there we go, technically it's 5 in the time of 4. Now then, we're asked to name the ornament. It's written out in full, so it's not written as an ornament, but which ornament would be used? So in bar 3, marked X, and so we have a note, then we have above note, below note, and so if there was an ornament it would be placed just after this A flat. And we have a little turn here, which is the symbol would be this. This is the term. The turn sort of like just weaves around the given note, and this would be placed just after. So it's play the note, then apply the ornament. And you can see how that is very vividly descriptive of what's going on in the music there. So there we go, that's a turn. Now then, the extract begins with an anacrusis or an upbeat. So that is the first bar complete, or is it just a lead in to a complete bar in the next bar? We should have 3 beats per bar, 3 crotchet beats. We have only 1 here, and ordinarily that missing 2 beats is found at the end, or it can also be reflected in the phrases that follow on afterwards. However, we don't see the end of the piece, so all we know is that yes, definitely that is an anacrusis or an upbeat. We have these because we want the first beat of the bar to fit the music, because the first beat of the bar has the accent. It's called an upbeat because when a conductor is conducting, the downbeat is always the first beat of the bar when they're conducting. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 1. 1 is always the downbeat to show that accent. However, you know it just by the math as that first bar isn't complete. So all of that to say, yep, that statement is true. So let's turn over the page to the next page, but keep this page to hand, so don't fold it under because you will be referring back to that. So now we have some harmony questions to be looking at. So we have some chords in bar 2 and 3 that are labelled chords A and chord B, and we need to indicate what the chord is and also the inversion or the position of the chord. So we are in E flat major. We're looking for chords 1, 2, 4 and 5. So I know that it's E flat, but I'm going to ignore all the flat signs because the key signature will take care of that. So chord 1 is built on E flat, 2 is F, G, A is the root of chord 4, and then B flat, of course, but the key signature will deal with that, so I won't bother. So now I build the triads up, the first, the third and the fifth, E, F, G, A, B. Of course it's B flat, but your key signature will do that for you. F, A, C, first, third, fifth, A, C, E, B, D, F. And a quick double check, the fifth note from chord 1 is the root of chord 5. There we have that, so we know we've not gone wrong somewhere. And then we have root position A, first inversion B, second inversion C. And so that's all the thinking. So let's see what we've got for chord A in bar 2. We have a G, B, E, G. So we can see, of course there are flats, but we won't worry about that. It's the notes of chord 1, so we know it's a chord 1. However, we can see that there is a G is our lowest note in the bass. That's our root note for this chord. So it's not the root of the chord, it's the middle of the chord. So it's a chord 1B because the G is at the bass. So let's have a look at chord B in bar 3. We have an F, a B, a D, a B. Of course it's B flat, D, F is the chord. That's chord 5. And the bottom note for that chord, the bass note, is an F. And so we can see it's a chord 5C. It's the second inversion. There we go. That's soon done. Once you know what you're looking for, finding it and naming it isn't a problem. Now we've got some work to do on intervals. So we're looking at the harmonic intervals that will be bracketed. So bar 1, let's have a look. Right hand and, sorry, it's number 1, bar 5, that's why I can't find it. Ah, there we go. So we're looking at the bottom D to the F sharp and the treble clef. So we've gone right down in the bass up into the treble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump the octave and it will be a compound interval. So we know that it's a 1, 2, 3, it's a third plus an octave, so it's a compound third, and now we just need to finalise the details of that. D to F sharp is a major third, F sharp is part of D major scale, and we always count the lowest note as the tonic, so we can see that that's a compound major third. There we go. Once I was looking in the right place, that wasn't tricky. So let's have a look at bar 6, interval number 2. And so we're looking at this bottom D to a B flat. So first of all, let's get the interval. So it's a 1, counting the lowest note as 1, the tonic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know that it's a sixth of some sort. Now D to B would be major, because D major has B naturals in it, but it's a B flat. We've made it smaller. The key signature is B flats, and so it's actually a minor interval. It's part of the minor scale. D minor has B flats, so that's a minor interval, and also major is greater, minor is smaller, and so we can see that we've made it smaller. So there we go, it's a minor sixth. Now then, bar 8, looking at these inside notes here, we have an A, 2, an E. However, it's an E flat, remember, because of the key signature. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a fifth. Now A to E would be a perfect fifth. However, we've made it smaller because of the key signature. It's an E flat, and so we've made that interval smaller. We've diminished it. Remember, in perfect interval there is no major minor. It goes from perfect to diminished. So we have a diminished fifth. There we go. Let's press on. So we're asked to rewrite the last left-hand chord of bar 4. There's a little arrow showing us here, this left-hand chord here. And we need to keep it at exactly the same pitch, so be careful you don't jump any octaves, but we're changing to a tenor clef, and we need to put in the new key signature. So here the tenor clef is higher, so that this second from the top line is middle C, and then the key signature B flats, E flats, A flats, and let's see what we're going to be writing. So always keep middle C as your anchor point so you don't end up in the wrong octave. So bar 4, here we're on the B flat of course because of your key signature, below middle C, and then we've got a fifth lower. So here is middle C, so the B below that, and then a fifth lower gives us our bottom note E, and then we just need a stem. There we go. If you keep middle C as your anchor point, then it's unlikely you'll go wrong. Now then, just some general orchestral information. Name a standard orchestral instrument that could play the right hand part of the extract so it sounds at the same pitch. It must be able to stay in the register. So the right hand part, it's in the treble clef. It's sort of reasonably mid-range treble clef, not too high here and not too low. Nevertheless, we need to make sure it can get right up to these sort of starting to get higher range. And so we need to state which family. So if we're going to be talking about woodwind, you can choose any one of these. So if we're choosing a woodwind instrument, then a flute could play in that register. That's a treble clef instrument. So also is the oboe. So also is the clarinet. They'd all be quite comfortable in that range. If you were to choose strings as your family, it would have to be violin. That's the treble instrument of the string family. And if you chose brass, it would have to be trumpet to keep that high treble register. So depending which one you've chosen now is how we answer this question. So which instruments are transposing and which are not transposing? So if you'd chosen the flute, for example, I'll just sketch these down. You wouldn't need to write all this. You just choose one and then explain if it's transposing or not. The flute is non-transposing. That means when it plays a C, it sounds a C. The oboe is also non-transposing. The clarinet, however, is transposing. That is, it's usually a clarinet in B flat. You can sometimes have a clarinet in A also. So the clarinet in B flat, when you play a C, it sounds a B flat. It's just the way the instrument works. Or if it's a clarinet in A, it will sound an A. The violin is a non-transposing instrument that plays exactly at pitch. And the trumpet, now I'm not very into brass, but as I'm aware of it, the trumpet is a transposing instrument and it's normally in B flat. So you've got lots of options there, you just need to pick one. That's the end of that question. I do hope this is helping you. I hope that it's of benefit to your studies. I hope it's also enjoyable to you. It's really great to get to grips with this subject. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Please also do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.